How goes the family? Happy Saturday. Hopefully, you guys have been having a great day. My folks on the East Coast, I think most of the country, the weather's been pretty freaking great. It's been awesome, and most people have really been enjoying it a lot. So, it's definitely been a beautiful thing. You know, spring is in the air, spring is here, and people are enjoying themselves. So, hey, and it's a beautiful thing. Get out of the house, get some sunshine in your life, make sure that you learn how to always enjoy your life and never take any single day for granted. And especially if you're off today, like a lot of people are off, and even if you're working today, take a minute or two out to go outside and enjoy the sunlight, and just enjoy your life. You know what I mean? Because I always say this one thing: the pandemic has taught us that you only get one. You better enjoy yourself, and if you don't, then hey, that's on you. So I can't put it any other way. Our time here is limited, and you can't be wasting. To quote Steve Jobs, you can't live your life. You can't worry. You got a limited time here on this earth, so don't. And I'm paraphrasing his quote. So don't waste your whole life living a life that you're basically living a life that living someone else's life at the end of the day, because a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to, I always call it the high school complex / mentality, because they want to live other people's lives. They want to live to the standard of other people, especially in the social media age where people are like, oh, these people are posting all these beautiful pictures and they just have the best life. And it's just so amazing. By God, gee willikers. And, it's social media, social media. Socialize, get entertained, but reality is going to be a reality no matter what somebody posts on the internet. Let's just keep it real on that note. All right. So before we get the show started, me, I always got to get my music going because life's too short without music, and we're going to go from there. All right. All right. We'll have a quick conversation tonight before I call it a night. But if you're watching, please do the great three free things: like and share. And if you don't mind, subscribe. It's always greatly appreciated. We'll get the show going. And we're going to call it a day. If you're happy to be alive, let me know in the chat room. If you're happy to be here, let me know in the chat room. Life's too short to just keep it simple. You gotta enjoy yourself. All right. Let's enjoy life. And let's make money moves together, family. All right. Let's get the show going. Let's get the show going. All right. Let's get the show going. Let's get the show going. Happy to be here as always. All right. Well, tonight's topic is basically talking about, we see that, the world is opening up. And we see that a lot more, not only a lot more states opening up, but a lot more companies are actually either going two ways. They're actually having people come back part-time, or they're just like, you know what, don't worry about coming back at all. Thanks for the love, Marquita. Hopefully you're doing good. So I always give a lot of credit to a lot of companies that are forward thinking. I'm going to read a couple of comments that have been put out there in the social media atmosphere and just go from there. But before I do, Ford actually announced, Ford Motor Company actually announced that matter of fact, it was a couple of days ago, they stated 30,000 of their employees, they were told that they can work from home permanently. 30,000, okay, can work from home permanently. All right. This was just announced on March 17th. It is the 20th. So this was actually officially announced on a Wednesday, last Wednesday and whatnot, from the headquarters in Detroit. So I thought that was amazing. And the thing is, we've all been saying this, not just me, we've all been saying this, that this was going to actually save corporations a lot of money. So my Detroit people know what I'm talking about. I've never been to Detroit, but I know I've seen the actual Ford headquarters, the actual building in itself. The amount of money that the corporation and corporations like Ford are going to be able to save by not having to lease or own commercial spaces of that magnitude says a lot. Okay, if they're telling 30,000 of their employees, to not worry about, they can stay at home, work from home permanently, that's going to save the company itself a lot of money. All right. I don't know the actual facts and figures of it. I'm not going to speculate, but I just know that owning commercial estate, no matter what's commercial real estate, no matter what state you reside in, is a lot of money, or leasing it is a lot of money. I mean, that is one of the reasons why, heck, the federal government 10 years ago, they, for a lot of the military commands, they made sure that a lot of them moved out of major cities and actually put them on government owned, military bases and whatnot. It just made sense, especially from a financial standpoint. I'm sure it made sense from a security standpoint, but definitely from a financial standpoint. If you as a entity, period, whether it's government or private sector, don't have to own or lease any commercial space, or a lot of commercial space like they used to 10 to 20 years ago, that increases their bottom line. And we know one thing that corporate America loves: they love to be able to increase their bottom line. Like the profit was this $1 billion this year. It was $20 billion this year. We wanted $30 billion next year, and then after that, we wanted $40 million next year, and I'm not mad at that, because when you really put things into perspective, every year, all of us as people, we want to be able to grow, no matter how the situation is looked at and whatnot. You don't want your year to look like, I hope not, you don't want, unless you just had a great 2020, but you don't want 2021 to look like 2020. You want 2021 to be better than 2020. You know what I mean? And then you want 2022 to be better than 2021. So I think that's just a natural, for the most part, human spirit and evolution of people. If you want to grow, if you're a person that's athletic, you did great last season, you want to do better next season. The Dallas Cowboys don't want to, I'm just using the football team, don't beat me up. The Dallas Cowboys don't want to do as well as they did last year. They want to do better than they did last year. So that's how we all have to approach life. You know what I mean? That's how we all have to look at things. So with 30,000 people being able to stay at home, you saw one of my friends I was talking to yesterday. She was like, yeah, I don't want to go back. And, the consensus is around the employee campfire is most people that have had the pleasure of officially being able to work from home for a year, they love it. I can't blame them. I'm going to be real honest. I mean, heck, I myself have loved every single moment of it. I felt like I've caught up more sleep. I've saved more gas money. I've had less maintenance repairs that I have to get done in my car and whatnot. So it's been a beautiful thing. It's like not having to worry about fighting traffic has improved the quality of life. And a lot of corporations like Ford have stated that they've seen the productivity of their workforce actually increase and not stay stagnated or not decrease. They've seen it increase even more so, especially given the fact that if you're a parent, you don't have to worry about dropping your kids off anywhere, especially with the fact that they was able to do homeschool for a long time. You don't have to worry about fighting traffic or anything of that nature. You're not rushing to get away from the office, because people remember, life before the pandemic, people, when you're at work, you're going to do your time and whatnot. But, you're looking at that clock when it's time to get off so you can shoom out of there, especially if you live in like a metropolitan area, like a New York City or the DMV area, or Los Angeles or something like that. You're looking at the clock like, yeah, once it strikes this, I'm out. Once it hits 4 o'clock, I'm gone. Okay. 1 second later can cost me 15, 30 minutes to an hour of my day preventing me to get to home or to the gym or to whatever school or any other extracurricular activity. For a lot of people, life has been a lot less rushed, and that's why even with the online thing, I think with colleges, that's just going to be the new norm. I think a lot of universities are actually going to, for the future, is going to slash their budgets and whatnot by getting rid of a lot of space, and probably knowing universities like corporations, so they'll figure a way to make money by renting it out to the city or something, renting space out to the city or another company and whatnot. They know what they're doing in that aspect. But 30,000 employees, I mean, we already saw this happen like 6 months ago with Google and Facebook and whatnot. So they already told their employees and they don't need to worry about coming back until like 2022 or something to that effect. In some instances, permanently, and definitely not having to worry about coming back, because especially just imagine that these corporations not having to pay these high prices in Silicon Valley or anywhere, because a lot of them are set up shop in other states like Austin, Texas and whatnot. So you got a happy, robust workforce working from home. Hey, that just brings the quality of life up for everybody. And I'm actually going to read some statements from people, so you're not just hearing me give my perspective, because it's very interesting. This one young lady, Kesley Dura, who's an actual filmmaker and comedian in the good old greater Los Angeles area, used to, was dedicated an hour each morning to showering, applying makeup, doing her hair, and finding the right outfit and whatnot. And it's like, hey, before I even go any further, I remember I was so militant in my routine. I'm just militant now in what I eat and whatnot, but I was so militant in my routine. One aspect of this I still do. I eat for lunch and I eat a salad every day. Okay. At least Monday through Friday. All right. And I have my cereal and fruits and whatnot, and good old eggs before for my breakfast and all that good stuff. Okay. I make sure all that is, especially the salads, are actually done. Every Sunday I make my salads, chop them all 5 of them, chop them all up, and make sure that they're ready to go, so I don't have to worry about what I'm eating for lunchtime. But to do one even better, to be honest, it's like I would have my outfit out, ready for the next day. Okay, I'd have my car keys in my wallet, in my pants and whatnot, especially my work clothes and in my dress clothes, all that, socks on top of my of my pants and whatnot, shoes out, bags packed, all that before I get up in the morning. So I'd have less things that I have to do, before I have to get on the road in the morning. So the pandemic has cut all that out. I'm able to sleep, get a little bit more sleep, get a lot more work done, actually be more productive with the job and with the businesses. And the pandemic has actually cut down a lot of stress levels and things of that nature. I've actually felt like I've gotten healthier during the pandemic than before the pandemic, because stress is one of the number one killers out there. You know what I mean? And then, having dress clothes, I'd go to the dry cleaners and whatnot. But since I'm more laid back now, I've not been to the dry cleaners in 6 months. So I can imagine if one owns a dry cleaner company, they're not making as much money because most people aren't dressing up as much as they used to anymore. That's been, even before the pandemic, dressing up like that was becoming a thing of yesteryear, like business casual. As people wearing suits and things of that nature. I think that the millennial generation is probably going to be the last generation of people wearing suits on a regular basis to go to work. I just got a funny feeling about that, but that's just my opinion. But the young lady said, and I quote, "Now she just rolls out of bed, puts on something comfortable, and in some sweatpants, and just does what she has to do online and things of that nature." I get it, and I respect that. And a lot of people have gotten used to that, just rolling over, hopping on the computer, doing what they got to do, take breaks when they have to. The best part is not listening to any office drama or gossip, and, not having to deal with face to face so many special personalities. Let's put it like that. And like I said, for me, going the new norm, this is the new norm for me, but that's just me. A lot of other people don't see it that way, but this is definitely the new norm. All right. But if you're watching, please do me a favor, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It would be greatly appreciated. It's free. And if you know it's free, then it's definitely me. Now, one thing is going around the good old internet is that how people are saying, well, how are people going to get used to socializing again, going to a bar, and how's people going to get used to socializing again if they if back in the office. And I don't think 1 year, maybe for children, maybe, but I don't know with adults. I don't think 1 year with being away from people like that, I don't think it's going to have that big of an effect on people, because you've had stories where you had prisoners, people got out of prison and they were in the weirdest environment, and they came back and they flourished. I think it's all about, in that aspect, the individualism, and were you really a social butterfly before the pandemic? Me myself, not really. So, but a person who's already was a social butterfly, the moment they get a chance to go out and do something, they're going to do it. They're going to go to a social event, they're going to be social, they're going to talk to people. Except I don't think 1 year has totally killed that. And then in most states around the country, they weren't as locked down as, I think New York and California were the most locked down states in the whole country. Maybe other states, but those are the number 2 that I think about. And a lot of people that were even in those lockdown states, they just went to Texas or they went to Georgia just so they could be around some sort of normalcy and things of that nature. So that's just how I look. I don't see it being a problem for
What does it
adults
take to make
to I don't see it being a problem for adults to do that, you know, to be honest with you. But let me X out for this because of course that article wants to act up. But anyways, and some certain people stated, I'm reading some quotes off of Twitter. Anyone else experiencing reentry anxiety, you know, at the thought of things going back to normal? I thought that was funny. Then another person said the idea of the pandemic ending is giving me anxiety. Another person said, I will not miss the pandemic. And I agree with that, you know, because a lot of people unfortunately lost their lives and have gotten sick because of this. So it's definitely not a laughing matter. Though the virus will be with us for a long time, and it will be. Individual stated, I will miss the time with my wife and cats. Seeing them all day has been awesome. I don't want to go back to normal in so many ways. And I couldn't agree with that statement more. It's like, you know, when you're at home with your loved ones, leaving them more makes it harder. You know what I mean? Being able to just be around the people that make you feel, you know, great about yourself, or you can make them feel great about themselves. You know, I understand a lot of people don't want to go back to just being in the office. And most people don't. I mean, let's just be realistic. Most people don't want to be at work unless you just have a great group of people that you work around. That's a different story. But even in that instance, it's like, would you rather have to commute to a place, be on a highway and commute to an atmosphere that 90% of the time is not the most pleasant place to be? Or would you rather just be at home, be more as productive or more productive with your job and be able to have a little bit more peace of mind and whatnot? I just think this, you know, with Ford making that announcement, I just see it being the new norm. I really see that, especially I'm going to look at, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm going to look at the kids coming out of high school in 2021, graduating this year. Salute to the graduates. Kids coming out of college this year. Salute to the graduates. People coming out of the military, salute to the veterans, you know, and saying, okay, I have options when it comes to a job. They already know that generation says, well, I want to know how to make money in my sleep. That's not even up for debate. Okay. That generation wants to know how to make, they see people making money in their sleep. They want to be like them. That's normal. Whether they're good at their career or not is just, it's irrelevant. They want to know how to make money in their sleep because they're growing up with it. That's the norm for them. You know, just working, being a regular W-2 employee, that's very abnormal for them. Okay. Being able to make passive income, that is the new norm for them. Okay. Anyways, but they're going to look at potential employers, say, you know, your IT specialists, your doctors, your engineers, you know, your project managers, you know, whatever specialty that they may be in that category. And they're going to be like, people are going to be like, hey, do you have telework options at least for a couple of days a week? If not 5 days a week, at least 2 days a week. And if those employers start saying, well, no, we don't, that's not how we operate. We just did that for the pandemic. And they go to another employer and say, yeah, we're at 100%. Guess who these people are going to go to? That's really not up for debate. Okay. Especially in the private sector nowadays, a lot of, you know, the private sector isn't as strict as other entities, as government entities, you know, everything's different. And so a lot of private sectors, like, we don't care where you live at, as long as the job gets done, as long as you report to these specific hours, we don't care where you work at. So I've already said this, working out of state is going to be the new norm. So if the job's in Detroit, but that person wants to live in Florida, boom. So I actually wonder, it didn't state in the article, I wonder if those Ford employers are going to be like, well, I'm tired of these Michigan winters. I actually want to go live in Florida. I want to go live in Texas. I might even want to go live in Arizona or whatnot. Is that obviously talking to their direct supervisor, will that be a problem? And, you know, hey, the direct supervisor like, no, as long as you report at the times, you know, set to the Michigan hours and whatnot, and you do your job and you're responsive, we don't have an issue. Go for it. And that's going to be the new norm. You know, I can't put it any other way. You know, it's very, very interesting. And most people, like I said, I get that most people don't want to go back to the quote unquote norm, because I think this is just considered the normal for most people nowadays. And I don't blame them at all. And this one individual said they actually don't want the virus to go away. They very much do. You know, they said it's not like they don't want the virus to go away. They very much do. We all do. I mean, heck, like I said, I can't wait. I'm itching to go to a comedy show and see a live show. I haven't seen one in over a year. That's like my vice. I like going to, you know, go see a good show, have a good time and whatnot. They just said they're simply gotten comfortable, and it's just that as they are starting to get used to the new way of living, it's all going to change eventually again. And I couldn't agree with that statement more. I just hope that a lot of corporations and government entities are just take heed to these employees, because I think that you will lose the battle to the employers that is like, hey, we're all for people teleworking. And I've just going online and doing my own research. I've seen more and more online jobs because it's been perfected within the last year. I can say a year now. It's actually been perfected within the last year. Then more and more people are just like, hey, sign me up. If not that, then people just want to be their own boss and be able to make money in their sleep and be, you got people doing the Forex, you got people making money off Bitcoin, you got people making a living off of the stock market, you got people making a living off of selling products, just so many things that you can do from your house. That's what people want. That's what people are all about right now. Not saying 100%, but I'm going to go with a 60 to 65, guaranteed. All right, guaranteed. That's all I got to say about that. And then, like I said, they stated about people having issues going back. I see the kids have gone back to school and they look as happy as ever, and I'm sure they are. Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, the special personalities, Marquita. I couldn't agree with you more on that one. Yeah, it's just like no matter what office you work in, if you're a blue collar worker, you work on a crew, you're gonna deal with some special personalities, job, business. You're gonna deal with some special personalities. I think the only difference is if you're a business owner, you can in a nicer way say, especially if you live in a right to work state, which I think most states are nowadays, like even California is a right to work state. You can say, you know what, your services are no longer needed here. If you're going to be that difficult of an individual, most people want to be able to have a decent job in a decent, safe environment. But some people's personalities, they just come out in a weird way. And some people are just meant to work by themselves, Like I'm an introvert myself, but I can work well with others. But a lot of people just have this, they want to work by themselves thing. You got some people that they love to stress about every single tiny little thing. Okay. It's like I got a document here and whatnot. If there's one missing comma for some people in a certain document when they're working on it and whatnot, it's a freak show. It's the end of the world. It's the bombs are going off, man. It's like bullets are coming at it. Like some people, that's all I got to say. Like, I get it if you're working on a vehicle. Talk to my blue collars for a second. I get it if you're working on a vehicle and if a certain part is not put on a vehicle correctly, someone could die and various amount of other people's could die. Someone's safety is in question. That's when you're talking about when you're building a house or building a business. That's why they have inspectors and whatnot. You got to be able to certify this work and whatnot, because if not, then you could cause, a multitude of fatalities where people could die and get injured. And, that's just, but when you did my white collar people, you work in an office, it's not life and death. Just chill out. I'm just going to call it like I see it. It's not the end of the world. So just chill. Okay. But this actual statement by this therapist from San Juan Capistrano, California, stated, "We become a society that is no longer socialized." It's interesting. Said Diana Crosby, a therapist and clinical director of the New Method and Wellness Treatment Center in San Juan Capistrano, California. She stated, "We were so used to communicating with others and socializing appropriately because we have been in isolation for over a year. We've forgotten many of our social skills." Now, I think that might be true for a small group of people, especially if you were out in California. But from what I heard, people in California were just like, "Hey, we gonna everything shut down, but we're gonna go outside and go to the beach and socialize one way or the other." I think from some people, it might be a small 2% of the population might be an issue, but I think most of the population, we've been socializing very much more on the internet, even more so than ever before in history. I don't see it being an issue unless you just really become a true all-out introvert to where you just don't want to go anywhere. And some people, like, it's become normal for a lot of people. They like go weeks without leaving the house. I mean, because we live in an age now where you can get every single freaking thing delivered to your house, from groceries to prescriptions to it's just, the list goes on and on. Everything. You can work from your house, you get all food and personal necessities delivered to your house. I mean, we do live in a time right now where if you have a work from home job, you don't really have a reason to leave the house like that. Heck, even got now, it's become more normal for beauticians, like the old school. It's not even, I'm not even gonna say that's a new norm, like barbers and beauticians coming to people's houses and whatnot, or even having their own trucks now. That's the new norm. You even have pull-up bars now and things of that nature, pull-up party event planners and things of that nature that are coming to people's houses, dog pet groomers, mobile vets. So the world has become more and more, not only just global, but mobile now. It's like, you got mobile mechanics. I've seen a couple mobile mechanic trucks and whatnot, and actually come to my neighborhood a couple of times, not just your backyard mechanic coming to work on somebody's car. I'm talking about somebody who has an actual truck with parts and all that. It looks like it passed for like a taco truck or something like that, but no. Some people have actually gotten creative, like, hey, this is what they do on the side when they're not working for somebody, and they want to build up a clientele to the point where they don't even have to work for anybody anymore. That's the word, that's where we're at. Doctors that even make calls over the internet and whatnot, and some doctors even go old school and making house calls again. I mean, it's just a new norm. But that's where we're at. To be honest with you, it's going to be it's going to be interesting at the end of the day. And, with the world opening up a little bit more and the weather, getting close to getting warm again, we'll see what happens. I will say that much. I think it's going to be very interesting, but like I said, the one thing the last year has taught me to just never take any day for granted. Okay. But not only that, but, when you have a chance to go out and enjoy life, do it. But the first part of enjoying life is just being thankful that you woke up. I can't put that any other way. It's just being thankful that you grow up. I mean, that you grew up, that you woke up. I'm just going to keep it real on that note. But that's all I wanted to say. This was a very interesting how a good chunk of the population, majority of the population, don't want the only thing that they want to go back to normal is being able to travel in peace. And I agree with that, being able to go out and have a good time in peace, You have a lot of people, you have that small number of people that actually just miss everything about life before the pandemic. Like they want to be in the office. They want to commute to work. Some people don't like being at home, period. I'm just like, I don't know about that, but that's just me. It's like, heck, I think for some people, the pandemic hurt, but for a lot of people, it actually saved them. And for a lot of times, people were placed in a situation where they felt like a prisoner in their own home, but you get a little bit more time with yourself. You get a chance to regroup and figure out some things and be able to go from there. It's like you got March Madness basketball game on right now. I'm looking at the players talking to the announcer and everything, and they're doing the social distancing. Usually you see the players actually talk face to face with certain announcers and broadcasters and things of that nature. But, and then nobody's really in the stadium. So, this has become the new norm. But, I think one thing that the pandemic has taught us is that we're resilient people. We're relevant people. We are people that are so resilient and ready to take on any challenge, no matter what the situation is. We can come together regardless of our differences and just be able to move forward from there. You know what I mean? So on that note, family, hopefully you had a great time. Like I said, I wasn't going to be on this long tonight, but this was actually very interesting to me, interesting topic to me. And I just had to talk about it, because I knew that this day would come, as far as people saying they don't want to go back to the new norm. And I knew that the day would come that, the society would start opening up again. And we see it. And I mean, you see, like I said, you see states like Texas and Wyoming fully open up. Even more states are fully opening up. That's their provocative. Georgia never really shut down, so I'm not even going to count them. I think, like I said, they shut down like for the first couple of months, but I think by like the summertime, they were like, we opening up. So, and they haven't shut down since. So it's one of those, it is what it is situations. But on that note, family, if you were watching, definitely do the great 3 free things, like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Have a great evening and continuously make money moves, or you will live broke like a fool, family. Always greatly appreciated. Check out the online store. Support your local businesses. Purchase a product or two and whatnot. Thank you for the Cash App and the PayPal. It's always greatly appreciated. You guys are the best. And if you're interested in joining the Gold Standard Partners, Link is in the description. Everything's in the description, family. Sign up for free. Let's make money moves together. Gold Standard Partners is just a great opportunity for you to, if you're a crypto investor like myself, for you to buy cryptocurrency, refer others to do the same thing, have them purchase an affiliate package, and being able to go from there, and you'll be able to make money off of their package purchases and their crypto purchases. It's a beautiful thing, family. That's how we make money moves together. We got to keep currency in our circle this year and from beyond, all right? Take care.